Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to 7.3.2 Entropic Burn and Power Snack 3. This is one of our paradox paths. So the nodes are going to be paradox knockdown. So in order to get a paradox charge, you need to knock down the opponent, and these charges can carry over on the same attacker on the next fight as well. Now, unless you have 3 charges on yourself on from paradox, the defender power gain rate will be increased by 100%. Once you have 3 of them, it will be returned back to its original power gain rate. Now with Entropic Burn, what that will do, it will uh, help you keep the power control on the defender. Whenever you throw a special, the last hit of it will burn 15% of the opponent's bar of power per quantum charge on you. So if you have 4 quantum charges, you will remove 60% bar of power. If you have 8, you will remove 90%. So 15% for every quantum charge. But remember, you have to keep those paradox charges below 8. As soon as you hit the 9, it will give you 200% damage of your modified attack. So you have to stay above 3 but below 8. And power snack is every 7 seconds the next debuff triggered by the next buff triggered by the attacker is nullified, and it gives the defender 8% bar of power. Now there are a few ways you can do this fight. You can bring in power control champions, and so you can just take care of the power and don't worry about for them getting to SP3. You can also take sustain and regen champions, so even if you go above 8 paradox charges to 9, you take damage, you can heal back up. Some other good options are there as well. You can use Ghost with Hood also. You can also bring in Quake here, and also there you can use some champions that are immune to nullify. So I'm talking about your Thing, I'm talking about your Hulk with Hulkbuster synergy, also your Overseer. All of these champions work as well. Now these are the mastery setups. I will go with a non-suicide mastery here, so my defense and utility is going to stay the same, and the non-suicide one, I still have 7 points remaining that I will put when I do the alliance quest. But yes, I will be doing the non-suicide setup here. Now the champions I'm going to use are going to be the ones that have some sort of power control or some sort of petrify on them. So the defenders on this path are going to be either mutant champions, or they're going to be either mystic champions. So I like playing with class advantage. So the first one I'm going to bring in is going to be Guillotine 2099. Now the way I like to build up charges is I will just block the opponent until they throw a heavy attack, and then I will retaliate with my heavy. Now I have an SP1 here. I will use that to power drain Omega Red. Now I'm using a Guillotine 2099. She is a robot, so she will not get those death spores very quickly on her. Other champions you can use for this fight can be your Warlock, can be both of your Ultrons. Ultron, the OG Ultron is amazing for all of this part because of his degen against mutants, so you can use that as well. And also you can use somebody like Nebula or Vision and keep the power control up. Now you will notice I have 5 charges on me. Now I don't have to worry about the 100% power gain rate on Omega Red. So now I'm just going to keep using my SP1 and keep power draining in, and he will be power drained for 15% of every paradox charge that I have. So you will notice even if he has 3 bars of power, I throw a special, all of his power is almost drained. But remember, if you parry, you will reduce one of the paradox charge just right there. So keep an eye on that, keep it between 3 and 8, and you can easily kill off Omega Red, and you will take these charges onto the next fight as well. I will show that as well, because in the next mutant I will again take Guillotine 2099. I run the whole path with Guillotine and also Human Torch, and I'm using the paradox charges to my advantage, so stay tuned for the next fight, guys. The next defender is going to be a Diablo who is very easy to deal with, so all I'm trying to do is to bait out his heavy so I can go back in and throw my heavy, but to play safe you can also stay back, let him throw in specials, and slowly you can build up to your special and use it to knock him down. Do not parry, because with parry you will reduce the paradox charge on yourself, so it is going to be a slow fight, and with him occasionally getting to very close to an SP3 because of the power snack nullify, but you can counter that by bringing in a champion either who has petrify, somebody like Void, or somebody like Captain America and Fainty War with a tech synergy, or you can also use tech champions that have power control also they work, or you can bring somebody that has immune to nullify, so you don't need to worry about the power snack triggering at all. So for champions like Overseer, champions like Thing, Hulk with Hulkbuster synergy, all of those work. Now once you have your charges on top of you, you will notice that his power gain rate will be reduced, and then it's a simple and easy fight. You just have to control the charges, keep them between 3 and 8, and that's about it. He will die very quickly. Both of his specials are very easily evadable, so there's nothing much difficult about that fight once you have the charges built up. Now this next defender is Mr. Sinister. Now Mr. Sinister is tricky on his own because he is an annoying defender to deal with. So the first thing you need to use champions that do not crit or that have heal block. So somebody like Warlock, Guardian, Gilly 2099, even the Ultron OG that they have buffed works really well. Even Vision works really well here. Now you will notice I brought in Guillotine 2099 and she already had build up charges from the last fight. So I don't have to worry about the increased power gain from Paradox once I am below 3 charges from the start of the fight, because those abilities are cross fight and I brought in around 6 charges. So yeah, I went right into it and I'm just keeping my SP1 and keep throwing that so I can easily power drain him and keep him down, and then because I'm not doing any crits, all the damage I do to him he's gonna take it and he's not gonna regen anything back. So again, you can use Warlock here also, you can use Vision here also with the heal blocks. You can also use champions like Guardian, Crossbones, even Guillotine 2099. All the champions that do not crit work really well here as well. Ultron OG will melt him away as well. So once you have that down, not a really difficult fight. His SP1 you can just block it off, or you can also evade his SP2, so both can be done. So it's a pretty straightforward fight once you have the right setup for yourself. Now, this next defender is going to be America Chavez. Now, she is going to be the most annoying defender of all. You just need to be careful about her power, about her damage return, and her not pushing her to an SP2. And that can be a bit hard if you don't have a champion that where you have already built up your charges. Now, I am using Human Torch here again, and I've already built up my charges from the last fight. So I'm carrying them over, and they were more than three. So all I need to do once I have once I have, I would say a safe bet will be having five charges with you. Once you have five charges, just parry and heavy your way away. You don't need to do anything else. Whenever you will parry, you will reduce one charge. That will break you down to four. And when you use a heavy attack, you will knock the opponent down and you will get the charge back. So essentially, you will stay between 4, 5, 4, and 5. And whenever you have an SP1, throw that out as well, just to power drain her. And then you can easily take her out. And then the usual Human Torch is very strong against all of these mystic opponents. So you will be easily able to control the fight. But again, I would highly suggest you to have a champion here that is already built up paradox charges from the last fight and use that cross fight ability to your advantage. You can do this path again with any power control champion. So you can bring in Warlock as well. You can bring in Guillotine 2099, Doom, Vision, the usual. Even Void will work here as well. So all of those champions do really well. You can use Immune to nullify champions to deal with the power snag. But again, I would suggest you it's better to bring in a power control champion for some sort and have those paradox charges build up from before. So I am going to use Guillotine 29 for all the fights here on this path, and I'm going to use that crossfight ability to my advantage and go into the next fights having at least 5 to 6 charges on me. Now you can do the same with other champions as well. I would suggest you to bring in tech champions because there is going to be a Mr. Sinister as well, there is a Stryfe as well, so tech champions will work well. You can use Warlock as well. The um, Vision OG works really well. Ultron OG after the buff works really well here. So there's quite a few different options. I would suggest you to pick up a good tech champion for all the mutant fights. Do all three of them with him, and also choose a science champion that can do all the mystic fights. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And once you pick the right team and you use the crossfight abilities to your advantage, it's not a difficult path. The only thing you need to take care about are having the paradox charges between 3 and 8. Do not go to 9, otherwise you'll get damage. But if you have region sustained champions, you can also go through that. The power snack, you can play around it by using immune champions to nullify and stagger, so that also works. So once you have that down, it's a pretty straightforward path, but again, you have to bring in the right setup to go through this one. And the final fight before the boss is going to be a Purgatory. Now again, I am using Human Torch and I already have 6 charges when I start the fight because I have brought them from the previous fight. So I'm going to use my pre-fight ability because Purgatory is immune to Incinerate, and all I'm trying to do here is to use parry and heavy and just kill her off like that, because with every time I do a parry, I'm gonna get a smolder charge on me when she attacks me, and with the heavies I can knock her down and get more paradox charges. So parry will reduce my paradox charge by 1, and then when I use my heavy attack I will knock her down, or a special attack I will get that paradox charge on me, and I can easily stay between 4 to 6 charges. And in the meanwhile, because she's a mystic champion, she will burn away very quickly from the Nova flames of Human Torch. Her SP1 and SP2 both can be easily evaded, so yeah, just be careful about that. Her SP1 takes a lot of and it has a big animation and can back you up in the corner. But again, with Human Torch it's pretty simple. You can use other champions as well. Other science champions will work really well here also. Any type of champion that can parry and heavy will work amazing after you build up 5 paradox charges. You can even use Captain Mike and Fainty Ward. The hard part will be building up the 5 charges. Once you have that, you can do the whole path like with parry and heavy style with tech champions and also science champions. So I hope it helps you out guys, and I'll see you at the boss fight. And the boss fight is going to be against an Old Man Logan. Now he's going to have a few nodes. The first one is going to be Lazarus. So he's going to have 5 revival charges on him when he starts the fight. And when you're about to knock him out, he will gain 20% of his health back from one of the charges and use them. Now that can be really annoying if you don't deal with them. So the way you reduce the charges is for every 20 hits on your combo meter, 1 charge is removed. So the higher the combo meter you have, the more charges you can remove from the Lazarus, and you can kill him off easy at the end. Next one is going to be Lionheart. So if you're going to use any champion that will reverse or reduce his healing ability, instead he will not reduce, and you will get a degen on yourself for 5 seconds. You will get 200% of the attack of the defender on yourself as damage. Next one is going to be Arrogance. So every 10 hits on the defender, the 11th one as an attacker, you will be faltered. So you really need to be careful about that if you don't bring in a champion that is immune to miss or that can bypass that. And also last one is going to be Bubble Shield. So every time you block an attack, you will get a Bubble Shield charge on you, and after 10 charges the 11th one will be unblockable. So remember to dex that, and then you can go back blocking the next 10 attacks if you want to. Now I'm gonna use a Magneto here because he can reduce his healing, he can also bypass his miss, and then also Old Man Logan is a metal champion, so I can do a lot of damage on my SP3. So if you have a Magneto, this is a super easy fight. Even if you don't have him, you can use champions like Ultron OG. After his buff, he will melt him away. And also you can bring in Professor X. After 25 Cerebro charges, he will not miss, or he will not he will bypass the miss or evade from any champion except tech, so he will work really amazing against Old Man Logan. Again, you can use Ghost here as well with phase hit combo as well, and Warlock can work here, and also Guillotine 2099. So you just have to pay a little attention on the fight, but it is one of the easier fights of the path. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications, and leave a comment down below if you have any questions. I will help you out. But I hope these paradox paths are clear. So next one is going to be 7.3.2 with power reserve. So that is also a fun one. So stay tuned guys, and apart from that, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.